Welcome to News Analysis. This video forms second part of the series on comparisons of National Education Policy of 2020 with that of 1986 and 1968. This video is about 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 system that has been introduced into the schooling system. A previous one was 10 plus 2 system. So what are the reasons for this stage formation? The reason being developing curriculum and pedagogy at different level of classes, then increasing the enrollment and retention ratio, reducing dropout and stagnations, and deciding the special locations of school. This is a graph showing school enrollment of from 1950 to 1966, then an estimation from 1966 up to 85 according to Kothari Commission report 1966. It says that 40 million children has enrolled themselves in classes 1 to 4, but if we compare that with class 5 to 7, the enrollment of 5 to 7 class is only 15 million, which again reduces to 5 million, which is for class 8 to 10, and which further reduces to 2 million for class 11th and 12th. On the similar scale, they have estimated by the time 1980 that classes 1 to 4 would be having almost 80 million students having enrolled, then 5 to 7 classes having 40 million students as enrolled, 8 to 10 having 20 million students as enrolled, and 11th and 12th having around 5 million students being enrolled. Looking at the data of the target of 1986 and comparing that with the NSO report of 2017 and 18, we can easily see that the target that they had set up for for the age group of 6 to 11 of 95% enrollment and 11 to 14 age group of about 15% 50% enrollment to be achieved by 1995 has been achieved mostly. If we look at the data, GER data of class 6 to 8, which is about 90%, and 9 to 10, which is about 80%, in 2017-18 NSSO report. However, for 11th and 12th class, it is rather a thoughtful affair that the ratio is very low as compared to the above below classes, which is around 56%. So how to increase this ratio and how to increase the lower ratio of the primary schools will just come around. Regarding with the pedagogical thing, that if we compare that with the new structure of actually 3-4, the Anganwadi or preschool system, which was not earlier there integrated into the schooling system, has been integrated, though it existed, but it was not integrated into the school system. That after integrating this school system, it is expected that the enrollment would increase and retention capacity for class 1 to 2 and up to class 5th would increase. How is it so? We'll know. But before that, what would be the curriculum or syllabus of the this class? So after 3 years of Anganwadi or pre-primary, they will go through 3 months of school preparation module to check if they are school ready or no. So after that, they will be introduced to class 1 and 2, where they will learn the foundation of literacy and numeracy just to understand what the words or what the sentences mean and how to do the mathematical calculation, the basic calculation of minus, plus, into, and divide. Then after this 3 years, after this 5 years, they will be going to the next stage called as preparatory stage, where the syllabus would be more flexible, multi-level, play and activity based, light textbook, and emphasis would be given on the 3R, that is reading, writing, and arithmetic. Moreover, the skills of speaking, physical education, art, language, science, and maths would be developed in classes 3 to 5. After that, they will move to class 6 to 8 to learn more abstract concept of science, maths, art, social science, and humanities. So, in order to do so, subject teachers would be introduced. Moreover, experiential learning would be emphasized based on sports or activities or music or drama and something like that. Then after they would move to class 9 to 12 stage of the last 4 years, where there would be much emphasis on greater depth, critical thinking, attention to life aspirations. The syllabus would be flexible and there would be a range of choice of subjects. Option after 10th board, there would be 10th board. After exiting 10th board, they can re-enter to vocational or any other kind of courses. So here we can see that how is it different. It's not much different. If we look into the Kothari Commission report of 1966, it is in continuation. In fact, this 2020, this pedagogical thinking is based on Kothari Commission report, which almost 100% matches the this report. So it could be said that it is in continuation of the 1966 report. If we talk about the targets, this is about 1986, which states that however anything may be the goal, but mobilization is one of the part, the most precious or the most essential part of the purpose to achieve universal education. Then, but they are limited with some of the. If we talk about the practicality, then they are limited. Uh, However, they are inspired by the DPSP, that is Directive Principles of State Policy, saying that up to 14 years of age, state would be providing free education, which also inspired the 1968 NEP. However, for 2020, it could be said that there is Right to Education Act, there is Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan or Samagra Abhiyan as it is called, that act as principal or directive forces for the 2020 NEP. Further, while comparing 5334 stages with those of 1986 and 1968, we can see that in 1968 the data at that time showed that from class the students, when they reach class 7, they are already 14 years of age, which according to the DPSP, till then free education could be provided. It was so because of the late enrollment and stagnation and various other reasons, which could be clubbed into economical, educational, or social reasons, in which girl child are also impacted and the socially deprived classes are also impacted. However, there was emphasis on pre-primary schooling, but due to financial conditions, it was not integrated into the system of schooling. Class 1 to 4 were clubbed together as primary school. A separate building was found for it. Then 5 to 7 classes were clubbed together, called as upper primary. They were clubbed together and separate building of schools was made for them. Class 8, 9th and 10th again were clubbed together and secondary school system was called. A new building was formed for them. 11th and 12th, a new building for them. So new building for each stages, they would cover two different kind of means. They would cover the increasing area with increasing level of education. However, in class 1, when we compare that with 1986, it was found essential that from class 1 to increase the enrollment and to increase the retention capacity, class 5th was felt to be clubbed together with class 4th as primary school. So it was added in 1986 as 1 to 5 as primary Then further 8th class was added into upper primary, again to increase the retention of the students. Uh, 6 to 8 as upper primary, and then 9th and 10th were separated as secondary school, 11th 12th separated as higher secondary school. Now further understanding why is what so, why was it so? Because from 1 to 4th class in 1968 it was assumed that the students are children basically, and they can't cover a long distance, so it was suggested that smaller schools should be built up in almost every villages located, which would cover the radius of 1 kilometer space. Then 5, 6, 7th class would cover 1 to 3 kilometer of space, means more area. So 1 to 4th the primary school was to cover one village, while upper primary was to cover 2, 3, 4, or 5 villages. Then class 8 to 10 were clubbed together, and they will build these buildings for them were built on the blocks in blocks. While 11th and 12th classes were formed in blocks and districts. We can further this idea for colleges also and universities also, which covers a larger area and which are at greater distance. So in 1986, it was felt that for a girl child and for boys also, fifth class should be added to the primary building so that there would be more retention and students could reach a higher level of study at local level within 1 kilometer of their radius. 6 to 8, 8th class was clubbed into upper primary again so as to more students can reach upper level of study, upper level of class with lesser distances to travel to their schools. 9th and 10th existed, 11th and 12th existed as before. Then in 2020, again to increase the retention capacity and enrollment, pre-primary are being right now integrated with class 1 and 2 so that it is easy for them to enroll themselves early in class 1, increase the enrollment, and with that they can also be integrated with the primary schooling up to class 5th in their villages that would cover around 1 kilometer of distance, and then they can further move ahead in to study at a larger distance in 6th, 7th and 8th classes. 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th are clubbed together right now, so it's expected right now that earlier if these two the separate buildings were there for class 9, 10th and 11th, 12th, then they would be integrated into one building so as more students can complete their higher secondary school education. This is the theme. But how does it differ from 1968, or how does it has a common with 1968? If you look around, if we compare that, we will know that 1968 already had these stages. Further, it was evolved in 1986 to increase, so it was more integrative. 2020 is again more integrative than the previous one. So in that way we could see that it is an evolution rather than something like break or make thing. Moreover, the some of the ideas like no detention policy of 1986 and taking exams at various stages instead of each stage, the idea of 1958 has been taken into 2020 where there will be exam only at class 3rd, 5th, 8th and 10th and 12th level. So this is how they all are integrated and it's kind of evolution thing. That's all. Thank you.